Hello, and welcome to TrackVia's webinar, Improving Operations and Visibility in Manufacturing Apps. Today we have Roger Moffat hosting. He's the Director of Global Channel and Alliances at TrackVia. And we are joined today with Umut Öztürk, the co-founder and president of Piblo Information Technologies. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to, or actually I'm going to start with a little bit of housekeeping. Sorry about that. We just want to make sure that you stay in listen-only mode, that if you do have questions, we will be taking them at the end of the session. Please submit those in the chat window and we'll get to those. And if we don't get all of them, we'll follow up with those that we don't answer live. This webinar is being recorded and we'll give it to you within 48 hours after this session. That's it for the housekeeping. So now I'll turn it over to Roger and have a great session.
Oh, welcome. We're glad to have you on the webinar line, so to speak. Umut and I have been working together now for about 5 months or so, and Umut's, just a wonderful entrepreneur and really fun to have worked with. And as we began working together, he was starting to, say, boy, I see the potential of the platform and what we can do with it. We're already professional developers, but we can see how this might speed some stuff up. And he was looking for an opportunity to test that out and to work it, and he found one in this project. And so it was a great project, and I thought it would be a pretty good opportunity to have Umut tell us about it and tell us a little bit about your company. So Umut, let's start with that. Let's good to have you online, and I'm going to suggest I'm going to turn the time over to you and let you chat for a bit.
Okay, of course. Thanks for the cool introduction, and thanks for having me again. And actually, as you mentioned, we started our partnership 5-6 months ago, and we just we were working hard on the platform to learn it, to just be able to use it in our client projects. And actually, just around the end of the year, we just started a real life project, and I will be talking about this project today. And actually, maybe I have a short presentation. I can share it and tell something, some stuff about us, like the Piblo, what we are doing in general, how we are using the platform for our client projects, and what we are trying to achieve in this project particularly. Okay, cool. If my screen is visible right now, I can directly start with my presentation. And actually, before starting, let me just quickly give some outline for today's presentation. And actually, as I mentioned, I will be talking about some brief introduction for our company, Piblo, and I explain why we are doing this business and who we are actually, and what's our culture in general, and why we are choosing no-code, low-code tools to build our digital products. And then I will be jumping into project details, particularly the project we have built for manufacturing industry. Then, of course, just in the end, I will be talking about some gains we had and some plans we have for the future of the project. Okay, I always prefer starting explaining who we are by just saying why we are working, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you don't stick with a mantra or with a mission for your company. And actually, we have been defining our reason to work is to empower businesses with digital technologies to help them work better. And actually, this is a very important mantra for us, and this has been the vision and the mission core idea for so long. We are changing all the tools we are using time to time, but we are sticking with this statement for a long time. And let's go on with who we are actually. And of course, I have a great team with wonderful developers. We have a really talented and experienced core team. We are for the time being 13 people, and all of my team are working in these kind of platforms, and we are building our solutions based on no-code and low-code technologies mainly. Of course, I will be giving some background in a minute, but this is our way of working these days. And actually, in addition to our core team, we have also really great partners like TrackVia, and we are really utilizing these platforms to build solutions for our clients. And actually, also it's worth to mention the developer community we are working with, like some people we have been working with for a long time, and to get help technical and commercially. That's why we are approaching our team not just a strict a team of some people, but rather just a little ecosystem that we can get support or help people in the end. And actually, maybe before giving some details for the way of working we prefer, maybe I can give some backgrounds first. And actually, for myself, like about myself, after graduating the university, I actually started working in the automotive industry, and I was not a developer at that time, but I know that I know coding at that time, and I always felt that I had to build some products, internal products. That's why at that time, the citizen developer was not a thing, or actually I didn't know it, but actually I was a citizen developer in my company. I used to code. I used to build some internal tools at that time. And after 2 years working in the automotive industry, I started, I decided to go with my own journey, and I quit, and I started my own company. And with my partner, we founded Piblo in 2016. And in first days of Piblo, we were trying to build solution for businesses again. Just we have always working with businesses, and in the beginning we were trying to build some solutions for big enterprises using some Internet of Things and artificial intelligence technologies. And at that time we used to code. Most of the time. After a couple of years building our own products, we realized that this process is somehow broken, like for ourselves too, like not only for our clients, for ourselves. We decided to go with another direction, something that we can take advantage of, building solutions fast, building solutions very flexible. Because the thing at the end of the day, the thing is you have to build your products, you have to build your projects in a very fast manner, in a very flexible manner, and in a very affordable manner. That's what matters for clients at the end of the day. That's why just 2.5 years ago, we met no-code and low-code solutions in general, and we actually just at that time we realized that technology, that this group of solutions, they had really potential to go big, and we decided to stick with them, and we started using them. And actually, no-code, low-code tools are, like in the example of TrackVia, are tools that you can utilize for your digital products, digital projects, and actually it's about making your development process very, fast and very flexible, so that you can change anything very quickly. You can adapt your client requirements, in a very quick way, and you can actually build solutions in weeks instead of months. Of course, some tools are, just suggesting to build solutions in days, but in reality, what we experienced is again, you have to, of course, just spend some weeks or even just some months for some projects to have real outcomes. And actually, this is fine too. In the past, when we were using code-based systems, we were spending months, and sometimes you may realize that the solution you are building is not the solution for the market. That's why you have to be flexible, and you have to got to change your direction in a very fast way. And actually today, the 2022, we know that there are really cool and powerful no-code, low-code solutions like TrackVia to build your solutions, you know, in a very short period of time, and you can just start providing value to your clients. That's why we started using these tools, and we really feel good about them. And if I may need to go with the project details that I will be explaining in detail today to give some insight to, you know, to people who are listening to us. That's a project we have been building for a couple of months, and it's about one of our most important clients, TrackVia. And the TrackVia is actually one of the largest rubber manufacturers in Turkey, and they are basically producing rubber sheets. And maybe I need to give some details about the product as well, because sometimes some people may not know what technical rubber is, what the product in that context is, because that's something we are seeing daily. We know that it's being used in so many industries, but sometimes we don't know, you know, just how it is being produced. And actual technical rubbers, like are materials, you know, that these kind of manufacturers produce to have just the raw materials and the semi-raw materials to provide just another level of material to, for example, automotive industry or I don't know, structural material industries. And we know that, you know, the rubber sheets are, you know, based on our project, these kind of material is being produced by lots of different processes. And these processes are mainly like require lots of machinery, require lots of workforce, require lots of logistics. And that's why our scope covers lots of different functions of TrackVia, which are mainly sales, manufacturing, and the laboratory for testing all the materials produced, purchasing, of course, purchasing of raw materials and all the stuff that will be used in the manufacturing, and warehouse operations and logistics at the end for delivering all the materials produced to the clients. That's why we just divided our scope into 6 different modules, let's say, in that project, and we took each of them into considerations one by one on TrackVia platform. And again, our just aim is just storing, like having all the data related with all the processes and turning data into knowledge, because that's how you can transform your businesses digitally. That's all we have been talking about for years. Like that's all the industries, all the people in this market have been talking about for a while. But it's easier said than. And sometimes when you have these kind of tools, I mean, just if you have a hammer, you can see everything as nails. But it's easier said than done. But like you have to be careful defining your scope, functions, and you know, how you will process data, how you will collect data, how you will turn it into a knowledge that will help companies to do better, actually. And if I just go into a little bit detailed approach, I will be talking about 2 main parts of our platform, which are data management and data analytics. And for data management part, actually, what we are building here, a robust and the flexible framework to collect all the data points, like structure them in a way that we can analyze them in any way we want, and of course, like integrate with the systems currently in use of TrackVia, TrackVia's processes, and of course, in the end, give all data in a, you know, just flexible format to all business users, so that they can change them, they can add more data, they can, you know, manage all of them in any way they want. And actually, first of all, like for realizing this data management part, we have, if I may need to describe what we have built here, we have built a data framework that fits the client's operations, which means like we have lots of meetings with the clients, We have just understood how they are working in real life, and we, after understanding their processes, we just we drew lots of schemes that explain their processes, and then based on that workflows, lots of user flows, workflows, and the charts, we understand the data structure that will support this kind of application. Then, thanks to just the very easy to use table structure on TrackVia, we have built our relational database, and we have just defined our tables that will store all the data types. And then we started integrating with the CRM the client is using at the moment, and the MRP system, which stands for like manufacturing resource planning system, to get machinery data as well. And maybe I can give some details about that part a little bit more, because it's a very important point for us. There are two basic systems that the client is using currently, like the CRM system. Of course, as most of you know, like the customer relationship management is about having all data related with customers, your sales orders, your sales operations in general. And they're already using this kind of CRM, and most of enterprises are using these kind of tools anyway. But actually, the thing is just we are trying to fill out the gaps. You know, there are lots of gaps in between, right? Just you can have these kind of systems, but you are missing how you are operating your business. That's why we are getting data from the CRM system, so that they don't have to enter all the data manually, like they don't have to enter customer information again and again. And secondly, we are also integrating with the MRP system, which has all the data about machinery, which is actually defining all the processes, like the how machines work to produce these kind of materials, like the production times, temperatures, like the work orders and everything. That's why in that way, just we let them use the system based on the data coming from all the resources anyway. That's why we don't lose time to enter data manually. And as a third point in that context, I also have to talk about user experience. And the TrackVia is doing a great work here, because we have a mobile app ready, like based on what we are doing on web, what we are building for web. Actually, we can see all the solutions, all the applications on mobile instantly. That's why we don't have to design different user experiences, but we know that this user experience way, like is important to give business users, like the modern business users, easiest and the advanced way of working. That's why it's also important to use that kind of system on the go. And secondly, of course, just we collect lots of data points. Okay, just that's good. But what should we do about that data, right? Just everybody's talking about data analytics, and the data analytics is a very broad term, I know, but actually it defines what we are trying to do here very well. And actually, it's about understanding your data collected on the system, and the understanding and getting some insights, trying to get some insights from your data. And actually, that's what we are trying to do here. As I mentioned, the technical rubber production is all about like having lots of raw materials, like just having a strict schedule for production, and having full control of machinery and your workforce, and just tracking all the progress, and at the end just produce high quality materials and deliver them to the clients. And that's why production planning, like creating work orders daily, monthly, weekly, is one of the most important core features of the platform that we are building. And actually, as I mentioned, based on the data we are collecting from other systems, we are just generating production plans automatically. What do I mean by saying that? Like we have the data of customers, we have data for like the sales orders, we have data for materials, machines, and everything. And we are generating schedules for machines. We are generating work orders for machines in a daily way. And how are we doing that? actually we are utilizing the scripting function on TrackVia so that we can actually that's why it's called low code. Like it's not about like no code anyway. It's about just the applying sometimes code-based solutions, sometimes just the visual programming solutions. But for this function particularly, we are generating our schedules based on our scripts we are just embedding on the platform. And secondly, of course, after having these schedules, after this production planning, we know that just we have all the data, we have all the production planning, but we have to create some reports for especially higher management and all the people in all the departments in the company. And that's why we are, as you can see in just the screens that I'm showing, like we are creating a broad perspective reports so that they can understand what is going on in the production, for example, instantly, because it's so important to to be able to act on production in this kind of industry, because like rubber industry, for example, in the automotive industry, most of the rules we are talking here apply. That's why like we know that the production is very important and you have to act on all the processes daily. That's why you have to have full control on your processes. That's what we are trying to realize here.
Yeah. Can I just kind of interject? When you were explaining processes to me earlier, it helped me to kind of visualize that not all rubber is the same, right? So you might have a different, if you will, production recipe where you have to cool the rubber, heat the rubber, add certain additives, etc., to create tire rubber, and a different one for, say, dashboards, and a different type for the vinyl place, or not vinyl, but the rubber mats at the bottom of a car. Everything, every kind of use of rubber is a different recipe that has to be planned for, and the machines have to be tuned for it and cleaned and chemicals primed and all that stuff. That's what you mean when you're creating those processes on the different lines, the production planning, right? It's just reading all the things all those steps that have to go into that, and who's going to man the line, or the people, etc. Right? Is that my understanding that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. And maybe we need to give some details about the process itself, because sometimes we are talking this kind of solutions based on some conceptual level, but actually you are very right about that. And they are producing different materials. It's not just one kind of rubber, and it's not just kind of a couple of different formulas. Actually, they are producing technical rubbers based on special recipes just developed for clients, which means the rubber being used in your tires and the rubber being used at the bottom of your refrigerator, of course, have different like the features. For example, they are trying to add raw materials, and they are trying to measure all the amounts, all the temperature, process temperatures, all the things that are being applied to these materials carefully, and they are developing these kind of formulas for each client. That's why having full control on these parameters in the process is utmost important for the client.
Cool, thanks.
Yep, you're welcome. And having said that, like we have discussed like the data management and data analytics part, and maybe I can go on what we're trying to achieve with this project anyway. And of course, like we are still going on the developments, but we have obtained lots of results at the moment, and we know that the gaps I was mentioning between the software they are using were really big, and they were trying to fill these gaps using spreadsheets and the old communication methods. That's why, like the emails and the the spreadsheets. That's why we just are trying to change the way they are working, and we are making it very faster. And actually, we are assuming that the 50% faster data collection is possible with this kind of application, with this kind of set of applications, because actually the time you are spending most on a daily basis is like writing emails, just waiting some answers, just filling spreadsheets, trying to generate reports. Actually, that's the inefficiency all of us have daily basis. That's why that's the part we have been attacking. Like we are trying to have a streamlined data collection process. Some of it is coming from, of course, like the data integration, and some of it is for filling the forms we designed. But at the end, like having a big data structure is only possible when you just can enter data to the system very quickly. That's the first game we are following. We are looking after, of course. Like this. Secondly, as I said, and as Roger asked, like having full control on this kind of manufacturing process is really important, because if you make mistakes, you couldn't have the exact features on the materials, and that directly affects your quality. And that's why we are aiming 100% overview of all operations. And actually, it doesn't only cover the internal operation. We are also looking after covering client-side operations as well. I mean, like the clients of our clients in that sense. What do I mean by that? Just we are right now storing all the information related with the materials produced. That's why we have all the data with the material. That's why when their clients get that material, the materials, when the materials, are delivered to the clients, they can see what happened during the production, during the laboratory, the test results and everything on the platform as well. That's one of the plans we have, and we are giving permissions to clients at the end of the day, and they will be able to see what happened in the production processes for these materials. And of course, thirdly, and maybe as the most important gain we are looking after, is having full data-driven decision-making processes, because it's all about of course the companies can make decisions based on different things, but what we have been discussing here is having a data-driven decision-making process at the core of the company, and collecting lots of data points from different structures and generating insightful reports and having full visibility on all processes. We are aiming to make Tracko data-driven decision-making machine at the end of the day. And actually, these are the gains we are having right now, and we are planning to have in the near future.
Cool. I think it's a real competitive advantage, I would guess. Not very often do customers get that full view of how, from beginning to end, what's happened to the order, what kind of quality measurements have gone into it, etc. That's a game changer potentially, I would think, in a competitive market.
Exactly. And in this kind of markets, just in the industrial areas, there are lots of different players in this kind of markets, and these approaches are so important that the quality, visibility are actually like the decision points of clients, the end users on this kind of process. That's why, as you mentioned, like it's very important to have fully visible, fully efficient operation to be very competitive in your market.
Cool.
Yep. Actually, this is what we have been building for the project and for the client. Maybe I can summarize quickly what I explained, and it maybe give some insights about what we are planning to do as well. As I mentioned, like this is our first project with TrackVia, but we really believe the potential of no-code, low-code solutions in general, but the TrackVia as well, because with this kind of platform, we actually got faster and faster to provide a really robust and the flexible solutions to our clients. And the being a company providing digital solutions to enterprise and customers, and of course like the startups, sometimes we know that at the end of the day, the clients will need like the working solutions delivered in a very quick way. And having this kind of platforms really helped us to provide these kind of digital solutions to our clients. And thanks for listening. And I'm, as Roger introduced in the beginning of the session, I'm the co-founder of the company, and you can reach out to me like using my email that you can see here. And of course, we are open to provide this kind of efficient and the operational solutions to all kind of industries, especially in manufacturing processes. We know how to do that right now, and we are open to work with these kind of projects.
Cool. We'll open it up for questions. I did see one. What was an example of data that you could pull from a CRM into the process? I think they're really kind of, the question is the integrations. I think you used an API integration to link things, but what type of data do you expect to pull from that, or are you pulling from that CRM?
Actually, we are integrating with CRM system, of course, using some REST-based API framework. It's very common thing, and the TrackVia supports that as well. And the CRM we are using also supports that format. We are fetching, for example, customer data, including all the the general information about customers, like their contact information, their requirements, and the deals they have, this kind of customer related data. And in addition to that, of course, we are fetching like the sales orders. I think the sales orders are the most important data, transactional data we are using in our algorithms. The sales orders is basically the client, just place a sales order, and our client just is after getting this sales order, they will plan their manufacturing plan based on work orders. But like if we are focusing on the data we are fetching from the CRM, like the customer, sales orders, their requirements, and of course like the materials data, and of course like the complementary transactional data as well.
Cool. All right, that was the only question I saw on my list. Anything else, Michelle? Okay. Then
Sorry,
no,
I'm not seeing anything else. So I think we're good to wrap up. Thank you so much, Umut, and Roger, thank you. And we hope to see you at our next session. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.